Welcome to Chops and Pops. It is August 30th, 2015, and of all the sights and sounds to be seen and heard, you are here with us. Thank you so much for listening here on our YouTube channel. I am Andy.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Shay.
And I'm Vinny.
Woo! Today, we are going to talk about Big Night on Raw with returns galore, Brock Destruction, and new Wyatt family member, Dean Ambrose, almost getting stabbed, and Sasha almost ends her career with a brutal bump. Gentlemen, get the tables!
Indeed.
Nice.
Great way to start it. And that happened on Raw.
Yeah.
And who at this table was actually at? Oh, that's
Like
right.
half of us.
These two
Lucky
gorgeous
sons of
looking
guns.
men.
Andrew and Vinny both attended Monday Night Raw. How was it, guys?
No words, man.
Yeah, it was-
Words, I can't. I was speechless, literally sitting in my seat the second half of that show. My girlfriend who I was there with, I could not speak. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm just
Wait a
trying to
minute.
take
Wait a
this in.
minute. You're telling me wrestling fans have girlfriends?
Hold up.
Hey, without
Coming
her,
from the only guy at this table without a girlfriend.
without her, I would not have even been there. But it was funny because where I was sitting was actually about 3 seats from the main TV camera. And during the entire Brock Lesnar segment where Heyman's cutting his huge promo as usual, and Lesnar's looking out, I was like, geez, he's checking you out. That son of a... I couldn't believe it.
Fantastic.
Couldn't freaking believe it. The balls of that guy.
The balls.
Vinny, what did you think, man?
I'm not saying this just because I was there, but that was honestly probably the best Raw in a really, really long time. That's exactly how a Raw should be booked.
Yeah.
Never been to any event like that, man. Really haven't. It just everything. Once you thought there was a boring segment, which there was for an hour, and we're not gonna talk about that right now, but right when you thought it was getting boring, something big happened that you really weren't expecting.
Who are you referring to, actually?
What is this?
What, the negative part?
The boring
The-
segment.
Yeah.
The females.
The divas.
Oh.
We'll talk about that
Yeah,
later.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
So we'll break down Raw. We'll talk about all the main things that happen of the Dudleys and Sting and all that. Is there anything though that you guys want to add in terms of the exclusiveness of being inside the building that maybe people that were watching at home on television didn't get to experience? Anything that happened during the commercial breaks? Anything that maybe didn't get picked up on TV? Because I've seen that happen before with events I've been to in the past where there's certain chants or certain things happen and you don't see them on camera. Actually, SummerSlam was it that the fan got ejected and then
Yes.
they brought him back in the arena?
Really?
How do I know about this?
I
You
didn't-
guys
yeah,
were in the
I did
arena and
not
didn't
see
know about
anything
this.
on
Was
that.
it SummerSlam
It was
or was it
SummerSlam, yeah. It
Raw? It was
SummerSlam.
It was.
Wasn't it NXT that there was a fight?
No, it was for Owens, right? I think it was Owens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Owen Cesaro at SummerSlam.
Uh-huh.
A fan threw a streamer, and they got kicked out of the building. The entire arena paid attention to that person and started chanting to not kick them out. And then they brought him back in like 5 minutes later, and the crowd erupted, completely ignoring the Owen Cesaro match. How did you
Wow.
guys?
I completely
Yeah.
ignored the guy who got ejected.
I wasn't. I mean, wow.
Well, you were at Raw.
Yeah.
You weren't at
Yeah.
SummerSlam, but Vinny,
I
you-
didn't know.
Oh.
I was so into all the matches at SummerSlam, and
Right.
Who could blame you?
yeah.
Well, is there anything that we did miss from Monday Night
Right.
Raw?
I wanted to ask you guys, I haven't gotten to speak to you about it, but during the Divas match, did you guys hear all of the chants?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chance, wave,
The wave.
We saw the wave.
wave.
The
The
wave
wave.
got on
at
television.
least 6 laps.
Yes.
It was crazy.
People didn't care. People
No,
didn't
they didn't.
care about that match.
I think it would have been better if they shortened it. That was just way too long.
Did you get to hear the "We Are Awesome" chant?
Yes.
after the wave?
That was
So
great.
that was awesome.
That bothers me so much.
It bothers a lot of people. I was actually just going to say there's probably listeners right now that are like, oh, them jerks.
Yeah.
They
well,
did that chant.
Like, I get it. You're cool. You hear your voice. But come on.
But the wave is fun.
Yeah.
Even I joined in on the wave
I
the night
couldn't
after
believe
Mania.
it.
On your
It
couch.
happened.
What?
On your couch?
No, the
Oh.
night after Mania when I was in San Jose.
How do you know when it's coming to you?
It's like I'm there.
Oh, I'm part of it, guys. All right, let's start from the top, though. Dudleys.
Uh,
How do you guys feel about the Dudley boys being back?
That had me, man. Like I said before the show, we were talking before the show, and New Day came out, and, you know, the trombones being played, and it was just right there. I was like, I just got my money's worth for the night. Oh, was I in for a treat. I love that he was playing it during the match every time there was the 10 hit or
Yeah.
whatever. But it was funny because at the end of the match, and they're lifting Big E on their shoulders,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is such a perfect photo op. I got to get as many pictures as then. And I'm already psyched because it's like the second time I've ever been at an event where they use pyro. But I'm like, why would they use pyro for a tag? Oh, my God. We've just entered Dudleyville.
Where's Joel Gertner when you need him? I miss Joel Gertner.
But yeah, when I saw that, I thought that was the Usos coming back at first.
Yeah.
But then I lost my shit.
And immediately there were Get the Tables chants. There were ECW chants. There was just...
Holy shit chants.
Yeah,
it was
I
great.
Definitely a part of that.
See, I love the Dudleys because there's always a chance of tables, and there aren't enough tables in wrestling.
No.
There need to be more tables being shattered.
D-
just the look with the glasses and just the stare.
Same walk.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's tremendous.
Shane, how much do you think it took to lure Bully Ray away from TNA and back into WWE?
Not very hard at all. He wanted to come back to the WWE, but that was actually one of the things that took me off guard. Was you can't always believe what you read on the internet.
Yeah.
But I gave in to those rumors, as pretty much everyone in the community did, that WWE didn't want him back. He had some sort of previous beef with Randy Orton to where Orton was always, an advocate for never hiring the guy back. He was literally on TNA television 2 weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah.
And, all reports said that he had no shot. And, out of nowhere, Dudley Boys come out in Brooklyn.
And what had Devon been doing?
Just indie stuff as far as I know. They haven't been super active from what I know of. But yeah, they just got back together out of nowhere. And I was telling Vinny before we started taping that to me, there were two surprises. There was the initial surprise of the Dudleys coming out, and then there was the second surprise that was even a bigger surprise to me, was that they get announced for SmackDown and are announced as permanent members of the roster.
Yeah.
To me, I've seen it happen a million times where a guy comes out to make a one-time special appearance. It's Brooklyn, so they're from, Red Hook, whatever, or Hell's Kitchen, wherever it is. But to get announced as not a new, but, part of the tag team roster now is kind of crazy to me in modern times.
Yeah.
They deserve it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
To me, greatest tag team of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And this tag team
Can't
division is
tell me.
already so strong.
Yes.
Just adding them in is just
A great
tremendous
time to join.
Yeah.
You think they're going to screw it up and do a lame version of the TLC matches eventually? Try and relive former glory like they've done with Rob Van Dam.
Don't even.
That opens up a whole can of worms because I feel a certain way about those TLC
Why
matches.
are you
but
ruining
that's,
this for me?
Okay, but moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
Yes.
We also had Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
A somehow bigger, creepier Wyatt.
And I think the best way to sum him up is...
Silverback 8.
Wow. is to describe the text that Vinny sent me while he was at the Barclays Center. Who in the hell is that?
It was funny because I'm going to my girlfriend the whole segment. I was like, what sucks is that no one in this arena probably knows who he is, but on television they're probably going through like, oh, this is him and he's from... And then I found out that they didn't do that.
That was one of the things I thought of when Vinny sent me the text, was he was like, I know that feeling of sitting in the arena and, Michael Cole is running down a whole spreadsheet of his biography and where he comes from and who he's been. No, it was dead silence. Us at home were sitting there like, what the hell is this? And there's been plenty of times there's been big guys, giants that they want to book strong. No, like, he really came across as like this giant to a guy who's already big in Roman Reigns and just throwing him around and ragdolling him.
I think you kind of look like if Rusev and Eric Rowan had a baby.
Okay.
Just like the body structure of Rusev and just like the height and bulkness of Eric Rowan.
Yeah, I did a little bit of homework on the guy, and I forget his real friggin' name, but I know he used to be, obviously, a power lifter, and he was actually a World's Strongest Man competitor.
Awesome.
WWE signed him, and immediately they're like, well, Vince, when he sees a big guy like that, he's just like, stow him away. We'll use him when the time is right. And he hadn't been. I think what did they sign him to NXT, and he just didn't.
He got signed in December, so he's
Yeah.
been under contract for 8 months, 9 months.
Mhm.
So in a way, I kind of really like the way that they booked him. That all us,
Right.
smart fan people who follow the people from the indies who get signed, or you hear
Yeah.
about a football player get signed, then he gets talked about. Nobody knew who the hell he was, and here he is getting booked as the strongest guy on the roster day one.
Perfect. It really was.
He was an Adam Rose Rosebud.
Was he really?
Yes,
I didn't
he
know
was the
that.
gladiator guy at one point.
There's pictures all online on it. I saw that. I was like, this big guys in like little tight party outfits.
That's all I know about him is that.
Yeah, that's
That's the only information.
he was a Rosebud.
That is very interesting.
You have to look at the pictures later.
Yeah,
it's pretty
I
funny.
want to see that.
You know
Dude
who
is
I'd love to see on make his way to WWE?
The bunny.
Hafnir Bjornsson from
What?
the Game of Thrones show. He plays the Mountain.
Oh,
Was he the one that was in the audience at the NXT pay-per-view? Because they had somebody from Game of Thrones sitting next to Stephanie McMahon.
I don't think it was. You would know.
He's a
because
big dude.
I would say you wouldn't miss him.
He's a monster.
That might have
he's
been
like
him.
6'10".
Yeah.
Like,
What?
It might have been him.
Yeah.
He's a goddamn monster.
Wow.
He's amazing.
It's a mountain.
He is. He actually he recently broke a 1,000-year-old Viking lifting record. So
What?
it would be cool to have him on there. He just bends iron rods with his bare hands. He's a great guy. We should get him in there.
Superhuman. Oh, he could face Cena.
And he can act, which helps with the entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all we got.
So, other things on Raw. There was
There was a little return. I don't know if you know about this guy though.
Which guy?
The one guy. He's got the paint on his face.
Well, I wasn't getting there yet. That's the big enchilada.
That's
It's
the big
Sting.
one.
I think Andy was talking about Stardust.
Oh,
Mm.
right.
Yeah, because it wasn't really a return so much as it was a turn, as he turned on
Barrett.
King Barrett.
Yeah.
It worked.
I'm okay with that. I don't like Barrett. I also heard rumors that Barrett's leaving.
That's not true.
Good.
What it was he changed his Twitter handle to Stu Barrett, which is his real name, supposedly. And people thought that meant he was getting future endeavored. He's actually just flying to Europe to go film a movie for the WWE. So, yeah, not a big deal.
By the way, I loved your comment on the Shredder shoulder pads.
Right?
What did he
They're
say about
awesome.
the Shredder shoulder
Oh,
pads?
wow.
No, just how he called them the
Barrett's
Shredder
shoulder
shoulder
pads.
Oh,
pads.
oh.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Right.
it worked. It worked.
Oh, yeah, they're tremendous.
Speaking of Shredder shoulder pads,
That's a mouthful.
Paul Heyman cut a promo. There's no connection with that whatsoever.
And
but-
he shredded that mic.
Oh,
He did. He shredded it.
Zing.
And
Bada bing.
Brooklyn wanted every second of it, man.
Yeah.
He could do no wrong in Brooklyn. He said he had enough ammunition to go for the full 3 hours, and we were like, please do. Please. Just keep talking.
Can you imagine that? Just Raw is just all Heyman. That's it. Just Paul Heyman talking.
I could believe that. I could see that happen.
That reminded me of a segment on Raw a few years ago with Jericho, where he went through a list of all the guys he's ever beat, and I don't know how he remembered all of this off the top of his head, but they started, went on for 3 minutes, and then went to commercial, came back, and then went for another 5 minutes, and this dude just, I don't know, talked on the mic for that long, and nobody booed.
I actually specifically remember that, and it was incredible. There was also the time that he pulled out that list of 1,001 holds. Or was it 1,010 because he was outdoing Dean Malenko?
It was 1,001 just
Yeah.
so he could beat Dean Malenko.
and he rolls out the computer paper and he's going through, and it's armbar, headlock, tackle, armbar. So good.
Where was that?
Yeah, Heyman's always
Yeah,
great. We know
Heyman.
that. What about Jon Stewart though?
Mm.
Getting AA'd.
He needed that attitude adjusted.
He didn't care. I love Jon
No,
Stewart.
I liked
Oh,
it. I like Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
You don't
yeah.
want to see him.
Yeah,
get
I like John. I like John better than John.
I was still confused
Good
up
point.
until that point. Like, when we were watching SummerSlam, Shane made a point that, hey, we're going to be seeing Stewart more often. And maybe this, in the back of my head, this is what I'm saying. Maybe this means he's going to be a heel manager for somebody. That'd be great. And I went into Raw a little confused. And then he comes out and explains why he did what he did. And I'm like, well, that just seems like filler. That seems like another reason to keep the title with Rollins instead of a. But in the end, it's Jon Stewart. He's friggin' awesome, and I'm glad that he was doing something with his time that isn't Daily Show.
Well, there's a reason that Rollins has to keep the title,
Which is
so he can fight somebody at Night of Champions.
beautiful transition,
Vinny.
Andy.
Who is this masked man? Some might call him a vigilante.
Or an icon.
That would be Sting.
Oh my gosh.
It happened.
I almost fell off the 200 section over 5 rows of seats and off a balcony.
That is totally understandable.
You were the first person that came to my mind when that curtain was raised. I was like,
Me too.
holy shit.
There were so many things running through my head. I was like, no, he's not. He's not in it. Yes, no, he's not. He's not.
Were you watching when they were rolling it in through the crowd?
Dude, they started doing that at like the Miz TV. He was in there for at least 45 minutes, and that's why I understand his makeup was all over the place.
It was the whole time.
That was him just wiping his head
he
like
must have
a
just kept
sweat.
on going like
Yeah.
this because he didn't want to. Yeah.
I knew there had to be something because when we're watching him roll him in and carry it and all that, they're clearing out the way. I was like, there's way too many people trying. There's way too many stagehands now trying to lift this thing ever so carefully. If it's a statue, you're going to be a little bit careless about it. But when that curtain dropped and I saw his feet, I was like, oh my God. Oh my God.
It was the man. But you know what? I'm going to throw this in there because we've pretty much run through the episode of Raw. You guys told us about your time. This goes along with the topic of Sting. How do you guys feel about the Night of Champions match? Sting's getting a world title shot for the WWE title, which he's never, ever, ever had a chance at getting. And it's happening in a couple weeks.
Thank God.
That's
it's something
understandable.
fresh.
That's understandable. First match is a loss. Second match is a
Title
shot.
But do you think he's going to win it?
Yes,
hope
and
so.
I actually read a pretty interesting prediction on what's going to happen if I may
Let's
share.
hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so what I read is going to happen is that it's going to be Sting and Rollins. Sting's going to win. Lights go out. Taker shows up. Taker either choke slams or tombstones Sting, who leaves him unconscious on the floor. Sheamus comes in, cashes in on Sting, takes the championship. So that now this sets up Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Or whatever. What's after?
Hell in a Cell,
Hell in
but
a
Survivor
Cell.
Series is
Yeah,
the
the
next
bigger.
one.
So
right
that
after
sets up Sheamus and Rollins for the championship match, and that also sets up Taker and Sting for WrestleMania.
I agree, but I think it makes more sense for Rollins to win and there to not be Sheamus involved just because not just because I don't like the guy, because I really don't like the guy, but it would just completely keep with the theme that we've been watching since March, where it's he will win by all means, any means necessary, and by now we're like, okay, what else can possibly happen? And this will keep answering that question. It's just going to be another
Kane's
reason.
going to come out, and the Brothers of Destruction and Biker Taker.
Quit it.
That's the only.
And then the crowd goes silent.
The crowd goes mild.
See, in a way, it kind of would make sense for Sheamus to cash in his briefcase because Sheamus is kind of the reincarnation of Triple H. Not that Triple H is dead or anything, but I'm saying like Sheamus is like
Yeah.
that reincarnation of Triple H,
Yeah.
and it would make sense for Sheamus to be the one to screw over Sting
Yeah.
the way Triple H kind of screwed over
And I
Sting
kind of
at
just
Mania.
want this Money in the Bank over with him.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
It should have been. That
I don't-
stupid ref.
I don't like how he's acting upon the "You look stupid" chant.
That he's accepting it
Yeah,
so
like
much.
he's playing off of it. Respect the Hawk. No.
No.
It's the "Are you not entertained" thing. It's like you're not Russell Crowe.
No.
Like he's Australian, trying to play like a Roman.
But
and
he
we
ha-
never
but he
are
has-
entertained.
He
Never.
He has the Australian accent in the whole movie. That's what's funny about it.
Well, speaking of Australia and Ireland, we don't live there, even though we
No.
have a couple listeners from there.
No, we do not.
But we do live in America.
America. I know a thing or two about the red, the white, and the blue. Let's So, what makes America America? As we are 1 week away from Labor Day weekend, the unofficial end of summer, the back-to-the-school sales are coming on strong. The looks of children in anguish looking at the hottest trends that their hard-working families sweat over is everywhere. Buy one, get one for a penny. $1, $5. Buy one, get two free. Who knows anymore? As a working-class, blue-collar-wearing, union card-carrying member of this great nation, I anticipate this coming weekend because for me, the beginning of September just means one thing. I can start buying Oktoberfest beer in my local liquor store. Sweet Hackashore, get ready to enter my belly and my bloodstream. It is German beer season. Sweet Lord Almighty, get me some bratwurst. You stay true, you marvelous. Red, white, and blue.
I'm glad you let that play out, even though you ended a couple seconds before.
I want to join the army now.
It has such a nice ringing.
So actually, bringing up Labor Day brings up a very good point.
What do you got?
You guys probably don't realize this. Next week is going to be our 25th episode.
What?
of
No
Chops
way.
And Peps. Yeah, Chaps and Peps. It's already 25 episodes already. But the interesting part about that is that lands on Labor Day weekend. And we will all be getting shitty drunk. So next week, to all of our listeners, we will be having a special 25th episode / Labor Day / doing the podcast drunk.
/ Guns N' Roses is
Boom.
making a return. Boom.
Yeah. They will be playing Chinese Democracy in full while we get drunk and talk about wrestling.
God, I hope
Tune in
not.
next week.
The album that took 20 years to make.
God, it's awful.
It's so bad.
That is next. You know, I have off next Monday, so
As do I. So let's do our first episode of the podcast drunk.
do you guys like clams? We're gonna do clams.
How are we going to get drunk off clams?
I'm actually going to be upstate. I'm going to Oktoberfest.
I'm afraid I've got some bad
don't do it.
news.
Don't do it. Don't hurt me like that.
I'm going to be at a wedding.
Ugh.
What?
It won't be mine.
Who gets married? You thought I was going to say on Labor Day? No.
Unacceptable.
Who gets married? That's it.
You know what? To anybody getting married, holding this show back from a drunken episode of the podcast gets a chop.
A chop.
I'm down.
And you know why you get a chop? Because you love Big Show, don't you, Andrew?
Oh my God.
yeah.
You took this to another level.
Yeah. Big man, big chop. You
Big-
love him.
Big chop.
You can go first.
Yeah, go first, Andrew.
Okay. All right. Good, because I went ham on this one, this week's chop. You know, it was one thing for people, great people like Vinny and I, to have to sit through what we sat through on Raw for an hour of that crap show they call the Divas Division on the main card. But amidst all those boos, there were two divas, at least two that I took account of, that took it upon themselves to react. I was not happy with their reaction.
Who was it?
Yeah, which
Nikki Bella
one?
and Paige. After the horrendous showing on Monday Night Raw, they went to Twitter to react to the fans not just not paying attention to their match, but to making the match about the fans, which was, of course, glorious in that we started a wave. We made so many chants. We are awesome. CM Punk. We want Sasha. All these great things. Nikki on Twitter. Oh, and WWE Brooklyn, shame on you for disrespecting women that put their bodies on the line for your entertainment. As for the ones that supported us, thank you. You make it worth working so hard and having this revolution.
Love Brie.
There were a lot of hashtags. I'm not going to.
But you didn't entertain us.
That's the whole
That's
point.
the problem.
And Paige, you helped us create change and then did your best to disrespect. Nice job.
I'm assuming that's a whole bunch of N's, a whole bunch of I's, a whole bunch of C's, and a whole bunch of E's.
Just a lot of E's and a lot of B's.
Okay.
I think that she exaggerated that.
Just for the listeners at home, to clarify. Now, I know that's your chop of the week, but I do want to at least throw in there that I think it's kind of wrong for them to get upset just for the fact... I mean, CM Punk chants, yeah. You know what? That's just whatever. But the fact that they were chanting, "We want Sasha," to me, is that the fans still want what they want.
Yeah.
In terms of the Divas getting, the airtime. But they want it done right.
Yes.
And I'm one of the firm believers that Sasha Banks is head and shoulders above everybody in the Divas roster.
Yes.
Everybody. And I'm actually a fan of Nikki Bella. Not so much Brie. But I actually defend Nikki more than most people and think that she doesn't get enough credit. And she deserves more credit than she's given. But I don't think they really had a reason to be upset over those chants. I think that's your job to make the fans pay attention. And I think that if they were chanting for Sasha, maybe they do want more divas, but maybe they don't want those divas that are in the ring.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago I said that this division has... This whole revolution has the ability to fall flat on its face. And if we look at the facts here, Team Bad and PCB are really only teams because Stephanie made them teams. There's no real significant achiever in each group. There's no real reason. Charlotte herself changed from that genetically superior, air quote, who she was, to basically a female Ric Flair. At least, with regards to the moveset
She
and all
even
that.
said that in a backstage segment.
She called herself the female Flair?
She's like...
Well, she is, but...
But she was like, woo! That's basically what I do now.
Wow.
And she's just like, yep, that's me. I woo.
But to be fair, that part really isn't their fault.
I know.
The idea of them being put into these 3-woman teams, that's the booking decision. And that's the part that the fans were warning about, of that they'd be used the wrong way once they got called up. To me, though, the matches, I mean, I understand that they're not booking their own matches. They're still out there to do a job, but I don't know. I feel like that falls more on the Divas. But that's a whole other conversation.
Chop.
Yeah.
Chip.
Vinny, your chop.
I'm gonna have to agree with the Divas. Just what, it wasn't bad. It was just way too long. It was just
well,
really...
they did like 2 commercial breaks, didn't they? Well, you guys wouldn't know. You were there.
It was really, really drawn out. And there was just a point where, like, I feel like the part when everybody started doing the wave and the chants was like, it's not that we're disrespecting you, it's just like, we just want this to end. Like, move on.
In a night where so many new things happened and so many things came to an end and so many new things started, you're going to give us the same stuff. You're going to do what you've been doing. We wanted to see, like, a singles match would have been great. Put the ones we haven't seen yet in the ring together. Or
let's be specific in saying about how they were kind of set up for failure. Let's not ignore that promo that they did before the match started. Because before that 6-woman tag, there was that promo of them in the ring for Ms. TV.
Yeah,
it was the 3 of them. That was atrocious.
Yeah.
I went to buy merch.
Oh, it was bad, though. And you know what? I feel like if that promo wouldn't have happened and it would have went straight to the 6-woman tag match, the crowd wouldn't have gotten as rowdy as they did.
I agree.
But that promo was dying so badly while it was going on with the Ms. TV segment that they just didn't stand a chance. But they did the segment for Ms. TV, then they went to a commercial break, then they started the match, and then the match even had a commercial break. So you set the match up kind of for failure. Because, like you said, it was more about the fans just being tired, and they had already seen enough to where if you would have cut out Ms. TV and just given them a 6-woman tag match, I think the crowd would have actually kind of been into it.
I loved your chop, Vinny.
Just one more little tiny chop was there was no Scorpion Deathlock either on Seth Rollins. He did the Stinger Splash, which I was, yay, but...
Night of Champions, my friend.
Oh.
Night of Champions.
You'll get everything in.
That's the payoff.
I'm a bigger fan of the splash. I love the splash.
Yeah. Although I see his age, he's not going as high as he used to be. It was more like a little leap, like a jump. He had to get really close to him, more like a chest bump than a splash.
Nice. So, well, my chop is kind of on the same thought pattern here with the Divas. I'm more mad about the storytelling because it's garbage. I just don't care about any of them. I cared so hard about, Charlotte and Sasha and Becky. I love them so much on NXT because they have these specific defined characters. And in fact, this week on NXT, in preparation for a 4-woman main event, which was, yes, there was a women's main event on NXT this week, and it was great. And it had Dana Brooke in it. Eat it. They gave you these little vignettes of just backstory, letting you know the motivations of the character. And in this little section, it let you know more about these characters than you're ever getting on the main roster. Hell, in the Becky Lynch one, it was like, it literally had her saying, I want to challenge Nikki for the title. And it's like, oh, good. Someone should be challenging Nikki for the title. Because no one has in quite some time.
Exactly.
They're just going to give her the longest title reign over AJ, and that's it. It's just gone.
Isn't that this week sometime? I think it's she said it on Raw. I forgot what it was, though.
It's really soon.
I think
like
it's
really, really soon.
If it's not tomorrow, I have a feeling she said Wednesday or something like that.
I think she said a number when she made that statement on Raw. I think she said a number. I can't remember what it was.
But it's definitely sometime this week.
Yeah, it's before the pay-per-view.
It's.
Well, you said you watched that in preparation for it?
What?
The Wednesday pay-per-view? Didn't you say you watched that in preparation for... No? Am I completely wrong?
What?
I was going to make an incredibly bad joke, but you know what? It's all screwed up now. It's all done. I was going to say, when you watch a promo of Charlotte's before one of Charlotte's match, that's called Preparation Nate. But you know what? It's all screwed up now. It's all over, and I can't make the joke.
You know what? There was actually a little thing about Charlotte too, so that
There was a little preparation Nate.
there was a little preparation Nate. That's amazing. I can't even say it, but that's great. But yeah, so my big thing is just give me that. Give me a little 2-minute video package. Oh, hi, I'm Alicia Fox, and I'm Foxy. In her music, and she's throwing a little tassel bow in the air. I'm part of Team Bella, and I'm part of Team Bella because of this, and my motivations are this, and I'm doing this because I feel this. That's all I want to know.
You know what, though? In all fairness, they did that for Sasha. They did that debut of the 3-on-3-on-3.
And that's why they were chanting for her.
And that,
because they love her.
Yeah,
You know who?
And they care about her.
You know who had the most amazing 2-minute vignette before her Divas match in the past 10 days? Bailey.
Yeah, but that's
Bailey's was
NXT.
great. Yeah.
That's the whole
NXT's
thing.
was great.
Yeah.
Emma's little vignette was great. You would have loved that.
Was this before the match on Wednesday?
Yeah.
God
You
damn
should
it.
watch that as a big fan of the Evolution.
I am.
It's
yeah.
great. It literally goes all the way back to those days. It's the story of Emma.
God damn it.
And how now it even shows the progression of her theme song, which is great.
Really?
Yeah, well it has her the normal
The
the
bubbles.
dancing and the bubbles, and then it just shows her getting pissed and just walking out with the new music with the dubstep, and it's great. Shane?
Let's wrap up these chops because I'm going to go into full heel mode right now. Because
right.
my
No.
chop of the week is going to the fans.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's right. I'm chopping all the wrestling fans right now. Or, at the very least, the ones that are included in these moments. 1. Voting for the Tough Enough winners.
Oh,
Those fans.
God. They're not fans.
Those are just people watching a TV show.
People that tune to the wrong channel for Survivor.
That Sarah girl looks nice.
Or the fan that was crazy enough to try to stab Dean Ambrose. Yeah, I didn't have anything that specific, so I figured my chop of the week would kind of fall into just fans in general because they screwed up with Tough Enough. They screwed up by almost killing my boy Dean. And, yeah, but we haven't even really gotten into that story, so if you didn't hear about Dean Ambrose almost getting stabbed, we'll talk about that later, I guess.
We're going to get there.
Yeah, my chop of the week goes to the fans because I'm a jerk.
Boo those fans.
Boo.
That's tough enough. It's just popularity / beauty pageant.
And I don't want to give the wrong impression, though. It's not me saying that, oh my god, you picked Josh and Sarah Lee. Well, I will say Sarah Lee was a bad decision. But
No.
it's not so much that I feel like there was somebody better that the fans didn't choose, but it just
At that point, because there were people with talent during the season itself.
somewhat. I didn't even really like the cast though, so I don't know. My chop is kind of lazy this week. I'm just saying it
I
to
agree.
say it, but yeah. Let's do our pops.
Pops?
Yeah, pops.
You mean...
Actually,
Like the
speaking of
cereal?
which, no, not like the cereal and not like the popcorn. Today, and maybe tomorrow, and maybe the day after that, is actually my pop's birthday.
Hey.
So I'll say that. But he himself doesn't really remember when his birthday is. It's not because he has memory loss or anything like that. It's been something over the years that he's bounced around with because he was born at midnight on the 31st. So for years he said it was the 31st, then it was the 1st of September, and now out of nowhere he says it's the 30th of August. So happy birthday whenever your birthday is, Pops.
Yes. To
Happy
the pops
birthday.
that came before.
So let's do our there you go. Our pop of the week. Andrew, you go first.
I was kind of lazy with my pop this week.
What?
The only thing I have down.
From this week?
What?
After Barclay?
Hear me out.
What?
My pop is everything that happened on Raw.
The-
Mainly because I was there.
Lazy man.
You...
Everything was so amazing.
So how about your pop as being there?
Yeah,
Attending.
You were
yeah,
there.
I didn't want to be too selfish.
Be
but
selfish. It's
it,
okay.
it really was just phenomenal. I mean, I didn't know where I'd be sitting until I sat in my seats. My tickets were at will call, and I had no idea where I'd be sitting. And then I get the tickets, and it says section 26, and I'm like, I've never, in all of my years of going to anything live, sat in a section that's double digits.
If you have two digits in your section, you have some nice seats.
Yes.
That
I can
right
tell.
there was like that. Okay, this is going to be a great night, but then you take into account the Brock Lesnar feeding of Bo Dallas, the Heyman promos, the chants during the Divas match. Ric Flair was there. Jon Stewart was there. John Cena got booed like there was no tomorrow. Oh, and Sting. Sting. I haven't seen Sting like more than 10 times since he came to the WWE, and I happened to sit. Oh.
I think it's 3 times he was. I think he only appeared 3 times. Was his debut, WrestleMania, and
No, he
after-
did do a couple Raws and build up to WrestleMania, but
Was
it was
it a
only
couple, or
like
was it just like
2
one or
or
2?
3. He came to. Wait, did he come to Fastlane or did he not?
No.
No, he
He
showed
ca-
up at Survivor Series.
I remember he came the week before Mania because
At-
that's when he came out with his bat.
No, at Fastlane they had they just sort of met in the ring and like they pointed the bat and they pointed the sledgehammer at each
Yes.
other. It was uneventful,
Oh, yeah.
but that happened. That's what Fastlane was.
Sting is pop worthy though, so
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Speaking of Sting and being pop worthy, Vinny, your pop of the week.
Actually.
Oh.
No
actually-
way.
actually-
No way.
Are we being swerved?
This is only just
What?
because. This is just because I love Sting, my favorite, but it was kind of obvious a little bit in a way, just with all the news and everything, and like when you saw the box, you're like, "There's he's probably in there."
What's in the box?
Yeah, exactly.
What's in the box?
It's a really close tie between that and just the Dudley boys because that was just so
Yeah.
unexpected. when the Dudley boys came, it was just insane.
It
That-
was.
They made. I read that this week that it made the top 10 biggest pops, as in like people going crazy, returns.
Yeah.
Because that place blew up.
Really.
All the chants were on point. That was my most fun chants was when the Dudley boys were there.
They could not have done it any better.
So it's a close tie between that, but I think I'm leaning more towards the Dudley boys just because it was so unexpected.
And they put him through the table, man.
Yes.
The Dudley
Yes.
death drop.
Yes.
As
And
they
the what's
should.
up. Is there a name for that move? Or do we just call it the what's up?
I think it's the what's up.
The face to the crotch.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Your pop, Andy.
my pop, I've said this a lot of times how much I love the New Day.
Mm.
And you may have heard on our SummerSlam podcast about how much I love Xavier Woods screaming about the tricep meat that's on sale for Biggie. Okay, Raw, he came down with a trombone, and I love Xavier Woods. Like, you know, after the ESPN documentary, the E60 or whatever that came out,
Yeah.
it was Corey Graves, Adam Rose, and Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods is the only one who has done well post that documentary, and God is he doing great.
Yeah.
He is getting so good, and he is so funny. He's like, I hope he never wrestles again. I hope he just stands there on the side and just like yells indefinitely forever.
Wait a minute. What was the thing he came up with for Big E?
The tricep meat.
Tricep meat.
You can't eat hamburgers anymore because
I'm sorry, did you just say that? Because
Yeah.
I walked
Yes.
away for a second. All right.
all they're selling is tricep meat.
Right.
We heard him yelling from where I was sitting, and my girlfriend's like, What is he talking about? I was like, tricep meat.
Just
Duh.
just tricep meat. And Xavier Woods is a treasure. I will say this about every member of the New Day because they are slowly but surely stealing my heart.
Yeah.
They're pretty great.
They're
They really
wonderful.
are.
As of right now, I hate them, but that trombone thing was great. And if they keep stuff up like that,
Yeah.
I will no longer fight the power, and I will no longer be sour.
Xavier Woods has a YouTube gaming channel.
You know, I heard about that, and I completely
It's
forgot
pretty
about it
cool.
until right now.
You can watch Xavier Woods play Street Fighter against Rusev, who plays as, no surprise, Zangief. It's pretty great.
Do they talk?
Yeah,
I
I think they're as themselves. They're not
was
like
about to say, like,
they're-
is Rusev, like, actually
Speaking
Rusev.
Russian.
I believe Rusev was actually just
Because I know sometimes
Like,
during his
a
promos,
guy.
it sounds like it, like, breaks his accent a little bit.
he's just the guy that plays Rusev, just hanging out, having a good time. Keith Slater's always there for some reason. It's great.
Does he have a shirt on?
You know, I don't remember. He might have
Weird
not
to see
had a
Rusev
shirt
with
on.
a shirt on.
He might have not had a shirt on.
I want Kofi's shoes.
Those wings were great.
Wait, what shoes does he have?
The
How did I
golden,
miss this?
the
The
ones
wings.
with the wings.
Oh, from SummerSlam?
Those
Oh,
are
he wore them on Raw, too.
those are dope.
Oh,
Yeah.
We all need better shoes. We need either Naomi's shoes, or we need Kofi's shoes, or we need some collaboration of the two of them.
I thought you were talking about us at the table. I'm like, yeah, actually, I just got a pair of dress shoes.
No.
I gotta get a new pair of donks.
No, that's what I mean. We need shoes like that.
Yeah.
We need,
We need
like
Chops
funky
and
fresh
Pops
shoes.
shoes.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of pops, my pop of the week I'm keeping short and sweet because for the second time in Chops and Pops history, Vinny, you gave it away already. That is my pop of the week.
Wow.
No, but you know what? It's just showing me and Vinny. We see things. We see things.
What are your feelings on Jericho, Vinny? No, I'm just kidding.
But yeah, so that's our pops of the week, and the show's over.
It's
Goodbye.
been so much fun.
Sayonara.
Thank you guys. You know, look us on Twitter, hit us up on Gmail. Peace.
But wait, there's more.
Boom.
Back.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Shane's thinking.
That was legit. That was a very good psych out.
Boom. Shaka. Laka.
Nobody believed that this. I mean, even though they're looking at a YouTube video that still has like 20 minutes left on it, they totally believed that this was the end of the show. But
Yeah, it's possible.
yeah. As promised, let's talk about Dean Ambrose almost getting stabbed because we didn't go into detail.
What?
I don't agree with that video.
Uh-oh.
Do you think he almost got stabbed, or do
No.
you think it was just a fan?
I think it was just a crazed fan. Like, I don't see anything. Like, that security guard nailed him, though, like, instantly.
Yeah.
That was great.
And I've been to a lot of live events where security, God bless them, they don't always do their
Yeah.
job.
Mhm.
And you've even seen when Roman Reigns does his walk
Yeah.
down to the ring that they
Especially.
don't really do what they should be
Yeah.
doing to let him focus on what he needs to do. But that security guard was right
Yeah,
there
yeah.
and waiting for that fan that was
guy
charging
He had
Ambrose.
eyes in the back of his head. He wasn't even looking in his direction. He just, like,
He smelled it.
Right.
yeah.
Well,
he just,
for
like,
the-
it's like, take them.
I would think that if you're sitting here listening to a YouTube video of a podcast of people you don't know, that you are pretty aware of everything that happens in the wrestling world. But if you are not, there is a video online of a live event that happened this past week where a fan jumped the guardrail and charged Dean Ambrose. Originally, the rumors said that he charged him with a knife and was trying to stab him. The video is unclear. Like Vinny says, he doesn't really see that there was a knife, so there might not have been. The one thing I was going to bring up, though, that I noticed in the video is after the fan gets tackled and Dean turns around and is like, oh my god, what the hell was that? It looks like he gestures to the fans in the audience like a knife stabbing motion. Like, you know, in Psycho, where it's like,
Yeah.
Possibly.
Or was it like a...
Well, it could have been like the whole like UJO, yeah. It could have been that, but I saw that and I was like, was that his way of being like, yeah, crazy dude right there tried to shank me, like, you know? But I don't know. There might not have been a knife, but what is fact is that a fan tried to get at Ambrose and failed miserably.
There's also an Instagram picture.
Is there really?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is it with fans and Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns?
Yeah, they
They
just don't-
what's up with that?
I don't like that tag
I mean,
team.
people like Ambrose, just
Yeah.
not that guy.
That's weird.
This Ambrose has enough experience with being stabbed in wrestling, you know? Took a fork to his head.
That's true.
Old school.
Speaking of old school,
Oh.
there's a word
Ooh.
that got added to the dictionary. Andrew, you want to tell us about this?
Yes. I think this is a very important part in pro wrestling history, and we are all witness to it now. This past week, a word was added to the Oxford Dictionary, which is, I mean, come on, everybody has an Oxford Dictionary, right? It's like what we use to get words from.
Of course.
It's sitting by my toilet right now.
What's a book?
Well, you could look that up in the Oxford Dictionary. This week, the word kayfabe was added to the Oxford Dictionary.
Wait, what? What is kayfabe?
What?
Kayfabe is
no
everything that pro
idea.
wrestling is about, especially nowadays where you can't not. Okay, I'm not going to be that good at explaining this.
But it's
It's a word that keeps the
Fourth wall?
we'll say that
Why don't we look it up?
Yeah.
because it's in the Oxford Dictionary now.
it is.
It's
Shane,
based.
give us a little bit about the history of this. Like
It's a word that has 7 letters.
7 letters.
It starts
Wow.
with a K.
I hear that it has roots in both Greek and Latin. Is
Yes.
that to be understood?
It's been used in spelling bees.
Mm.
Or now it will be.
It will.
But yeah, that's kind of cool. Wrestling exists, people. It's real, despite what Dana White says.
Dana White.
So
Did you know that in professional wrestling, kayfabe is the portrayal of stage events within the industry as real or true, specifically the portrayal of competition, rivalries, and relationships between participants as being genuine and not of a staged or predetermined nature. Huh.
What?
Man, my internet was slow on that one. I apologize. Huh. Wow, that took a lot. So yeah, it's basically just,
Can I have a
like
synonym?
things that happen during the events of things. You're supposed to take them at they're real. It's real. It's not a show. It's real life.
Basically, anything Paul Heyman says is breaking kayfabe.
Which is why when Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Iron Sheik were driving and they got busted with marijuana, it blew my mind because why would the good guy drive with the bad guy? What's up with that?
with weed
With weed.
That's
What?
what
in New
brings-
Jersey?
New Jersey.
But yeah, that happened. Speaking of New Jersey,
Hey.
again, nothing to do with New Jersey whatsoever.
One of these
I read
times.
down the list, seeing if anything even remotely. Well, Taker collapsed in Brooklyn.
which is
Which
close
tri-state
to
area.
New Jersey.
Close.
I mean, we've kind of put SummerSlam in the past now, and we're looking forward. Well, not really forward if it was the past 7 days. But basically, reports came out, and Vinny, who was actually there, saw what happened. Taker collapsed when he was walking to the back
Yeah.
after the Lesnar match.
Mm-hmm.
Is he dead?
I haven't seen him.
Well, he was technically dead before,
He's
It's
always dead.
at least according to kayfabe.
Right.
Oh my God.
That was a good tie-in.
Speaking of dead, Sasha Banks
Almost got
almost got dead. Sasha Banks almost got dead. And what we're talking about is Brooklyn NXT TakeOver. Again, it's all in the past, but these are the things that come out after the fact. Because even though we saw that reverse Rana from Bayley off the top rope, what we didn't see was the alternate angle, which was provided by a fan cell phone video that got uploaded this week. And Sasha Banks almost got dead.
Yeah.
She almost
Oh.
got.
The way her head hits that mat and the neck and the no.
Child.
Ooh. Boo boo. No. Not good. Yeah, thank God she's okay. There's somebody looking out for her. Maybe.
Snoop Dogg.
No, it was the real kind of bad though. It was the career-ending kind of bad, and she not only got up and finished the match right away, she also wrestled at SummerSlam the next day. And people got a little worried because she only spent a minute in the ring for the SummerSlam match, and people thought that was the WWE protecting her, and there could be worse. No, she's at NXT live events killing it. So, thank God she's okay.
The boss.
Yeah.
Thank God.
I don't think we really should bring up the tough enough winners of Josh and Sarah Lee again, because we kind of touched on that, and that's more than enough time for where those people.
It
They
happened,
won.
people.
And if you want to watch their matches they had, you can. If you want to waste some time.
Speaking of horrible failures,
Here we go. This
that's
one's
a
going to work.
transition. This one
one's gonna
actually
stick.
works.
Keep on throwing it. Something's gonna stick.
None of you guys saw this, but Triple Mania was a week ago, 2 weeks ago. Well, last week was SummerSlam, so it was 2 weeks ago. Triple Mania.
With the
Triple
technical
Mania.
difficulties.
This is basically the WrestleMania of Mexican wrestling. AAA. AAA is the big promotion down there, and they had their WrestleMania. It was main evented by Rey Mysterio and Mysticis, however you say that. And
Sin Cara.
Alberto Del Rio, now known as Alberto El Patron, against Brian Cage. Don't get me wrong, great performers, great matches that were booked, but they had some extreme technical difficulties, worse than the Chops and Pops crew
Much
at times.
Yeah.
From our early episodes. They literally had audio troubles from the start of the show to the end of the show for the entire pay-per-view of the announced team not coming through and coming in spurts and static
Wow.
and
How long was
silence.
the pay-per-view?
3 hours.
Jesus.
It was bad. So no matter how good that show was, and there was actually, again, the original Sin Cara was on the show, there were plenty of botches, plenty of horrible spots in the wrestling, but that announced team debacle just completely killed anything that they had of a show. And it's a shame, because that could have actually been something great. But something that was great,
Oh, he's on a
Oh.
roll.
that did involve luchadors.
We got it.
Battle of Los Angeles.
The movie?
Is,
Oh yeah, that was a movie. Forgot about that.
yes, it was. Kurt,
Cobain? No, I'm just kidding.
Angle.
wasn't it Kurt Russell that starred in that movie?
No, that's Escape from LA.
Escape from LA.
Yeah.
I don't remember Battle of Los Angeles.
Snake Plissken.
except for the
it
Rage
was
Against the
more
Machine.
recent. There's aliens in LA. That's pretty much it.
Pretty sure it's called Battle Los Angeles.
Oh,
That's
damn.
what it
There
is.
you go.
So anyway.
Well, the real thing, again, speaking of like WrestleManias of the company, this is PWG's biggest show of the year, except it's 3 nights. And it's actually happening, well, not right now as we speak, because it's 8 o'clock here in New Jersey. And California is 3 hours back. So the show actually hasn't started yet for night 3. But the first 2 nights were Friday night and last night. And the reports have shown that it's just as great as you would imagine. There's one thing that I was saving that I wanted to bring up for you that I knew you would appreciate in terms of one of the things that was reported, and this ties in with the Luchadors.
I'm ready.
So, 4 guys from AAA, you would also know them from Lucha Underground. Phoenix, remember Phoenix, and Aerostar teamed up in a tag team against Drago
Whoa.
and Pentagon Jr.
Whoa.
And that was a tag match. There were plenty other matches from night 1, but the reason why I bring up this match is because the fans did something extra special.
What did they do?
PWG always puts on amazing cards, and the wrestling is top-notch, and there's crazy spots, and by the end of the match, you're just completely blown away. This tag match was so good, the fans threw money into the ring at the end of the match.
Wow.
They made it rain on the Luchadors. The second the pinfall happened, fans just started throwing in dollar bills for how great of a match they just saw.
Wow.
So
That's
they
to
didn't
put
get
in-
paid enough.
I guess.
More money.
I was
Just
going to say,
tips.
if it was pocket change, then I think they're trying to send a different message. But as Andy is appropriately
Yikes.
pointing out his attire.
Yikes. But yeah,
Yes.
there's been great stuff. I heard Phoenix had a match with Matt Sydal that is supposedly one of the best. Evan Bourne.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
he's an ROH guy.
Right. They had one of the best matches of the weekend so far. Again, night 3 hasn't happened yet. I'm sure crazier stuff's going to happen. There was a guerrilla warfare match, which is basically their version of a no disqualification match, except they go ape shit and go crazy and do.
They go gorilla.
They go
they
gorilla.
No one even knows what that means.
Yeah. That was with Biff Busick, Andrew Everett, and Trevor Lee against Super Dragon and the Young Bucks.
Oh, the Young Bucks.
Yeah, super kick party.
Super kick.
And I can't wait to see these 3 nights once they're finally released on video, because these don't air live. They're, you know.
Do you think the people at Englishtown will have it?
No. Because actually, the one DVD I bought from them was a night of Battle of Los Angeles, but it was from 2009, and they didn't have, like, every year.
English on auction.
You know.
Yeah. But, the only other thing I have left is I finally caught up on the first 11 days of the G1 Climax, although there are 19 days, so there are 8 more days to go by. I could run down my favorite matches of the night, but you know what? Again, I hate to procrastinate. I'm going to wait till I've seen all 19 days. So next week I will go through all of that. But that's all I got, guys.
All right.
Anything else?
I just wanted to make one little announcement. I could have said this as my pop of the week. It's my own special pop. I did something I've been meaning to do for about 2 months now. I finally purchased my Bullet Club shirt.
Nice.
There's
I'm officially a member.
A lot of people.
That's hold on.
Past week on Bullet Club shirts.
They can't see it, but I'm too sweeting Andrew right now.
Why
Too
didn't you get
sweeting.
the Balor Club shirt?
Because the Bullet Club shirt
That's-
is the one you buy.
And come on, they're trying to knock off the Bullet Club. He was a member of the Bullet
Well,
Club.
absolutely. Are you
He was
kidding
the starter of the Bullet Club.
He was. But that happened.
Yeah.
me? Nice.
Just another little side note. I was reading also that Booker T is probably going to disappear or something like that, because he was doing Tough Enough, but now that's over, and Saxon was filling in for him, and now he's staying in there. So I heard they're trying to look for a spot somewhere to fit in Booker T. Like, is he just going to be on pre-shows for pay-per-views or something? Like,
Could be. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's gonna make Andy happy if you didn't hear about this news, because they
What?
shuffled up the announce teams for Raw and SmackDown.
Oh, I heard
Rich
about
Brennan,
Rich Brennan.
is now permanently
Yeah.
on the SmackDown team.
You know what? I'm happy
Awesome.
for SmackDown, but I'm upset because he's so terrific on NXT. Like
Well,
he's
we'll just
so
make
great.
SmackDown better.
But who's gonna be that guy on NXT now? Are they gonna have Byron Saxton try to do that?
Hey, we didn't know Rich Brennan before this. There's gonna be some other new guy we've never heard of.
I'll do it.
Probably
Rich
kill it.
Brennan-
Andrew's gonna take the
Rich
job.
Brennan, if you're listening, I wish you the best of luck, because you are terrific, sir.
Aw.
You make it so enjoyable.
And,
And Byron Saxton is permanently on the Raw team. How great is that?
actually, it was August 28th.
Wait, you don't like? Oh wow! Oh wow! Oh wow!
That's the tweet went out August 28th from Rich Brennan. No problem. Can't wait to join you at the announce table in 2 weeks.
Nice.
So Rich Brennan on SmackDown and Byron Saxton. Oh wow, he's on Raw.
oh, wow.
That's it.
So
And
that's
on
it
that
for
note.
us here at Chops and Pops.
Tune in next week for the 25th episode, Labor Day Getting Drunk Spectacular.
Do it. If you like this episode, give us a like, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, let us know what you think in the comments section below, or if you have something longer than the comments will allow, send us an email at chopsandpopspodcast@gmail.com. Andrew, what is our Twitter?
Our Twitter is very simple, Andy. I'm glad you asked. It's Chops and Pops with the @ symbol in front. There's no underscores, no special spelling. You won't find us in the Oxford Dictionary. Just put Chops and Pops after an @ symbol. That's Shift and the number 2 on your keyboard. Follow us.
Oh, wow.
Follow everything I say, everything we do. Watch our videos, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your dog. Tell them all.
Yeah.
And I am actually in the Oxford Dictionary right next to Stud Muffin.
Oh, ayo.
Again, coming from the only guy without a girlfriend at this table. But, for anyone who does actually listen to this every week, I apologize for getting up last week's episode so late. We actually do take pride in the fact that if you are going to take the time to listen to us, we are a weekly show, and it does come out every Monday. We tape every Sunday night, and that was just a big goof up. So, from now on, episodes on time. Monday. Boom.
Word
Woo. So, that's up. That's it. I'm Andy.
I'm Vinny.
I'm Andrew.
And I'm Stud Muffin.
All right, Stud Muffin. Let's take it home.